Hello and welcome everybody to episode 6 of Uploading Podcast, the flagship podcast of incompatibility. My name is Silas and we are again joined by our favorite co-host, which is Sod. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Your favorite, hopefully, cat-bat hybrid VTube streamer, among other things. Linktree in the description. Etc., etc., etc. Third week on, you can find all the links, and I don't really feel like repeating it, at least at the beginning again. Maybe I'll go over my schedule at the end, but, well, let's just get right on into this. Probably make this a quicker one. We're recording very late this evening.
The first thing in our running order is actually just an information about everybody follow at Uploading Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and send in tech things, anything related to tech or gaming. Comments, questions, stories on uploadingpod@gmail.com, and then we will hopefully be able to feature that on the show, improving how interesting this is, potentially. Yeah.
User feedback is always appreciated. What was I thinking?
Yeah. Oh yeah, also leave a review. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and wherever you can rate podcasts. This is a good episode already.
Anywho, topic number 1 before we get stuck on a tangent.
Yes. Are you going to read it?
Oh, by all means.
Who's going to read it?
Canon makes you print with original fakes. As a result of the ongoing global chip shortage, Canon is scrambling to appease a wave of furious customers after its own ink cartridges are malfunctioning to be read as fake. A widespread outcry has made the rounds on social media as Canon printers are not affirming the legitimacy of Canon ink cartridges, with the Japanese company works to attain these semiconductor chips that verify them. In the meantime, Canon has been forced to explain to its customers how to bypass and override a digital right management tool that previously didn't allow customers to use other cartridge brands other than Canon. As a total of 19 printer models have been affected, prompting a temporary workaround. Instructions on Canon's official website outline how and why to ignore the warnings that were previously in place to forbid customers from using non-Canon ink.
I had to hold back my laugh so long for this the whole thing while you were talking about this. I was reading along. I was like, "This is so funny to me."
I don't know what else to say other than this is like a scam. It's like it really is like the absurdity of function there. It's like Elon Musk having like a patent on a very specific type of interaction to recharge his electric cars. So like it's a lot of work to either go to a different one. You need to buy some form of adapter. You know, if you want to go to another electric car recharging station.
Not here, because
thank goodness
this is all standardized. We have basically one charging port for cars.
Oh, thank goodness! But
there's no Tesla specific port here. In the US, there is, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Tesla is just terrible, but it feels very, very much like a scam of like, okay, we've sold you a product, now we're going to force you to engage in a service attached to said project, and rather than keep it competitive or make it, incentivize it by making a good service, we're instead going to do our darndest to block you out from using any alternatives that you can find. It's just something that should probably be illegal, Like, you sold the goods.
I mean,
make good printer.
I have a
ink.
Canon printer. I have one. It was like €80 when I got it like years ago.
I definitely have one, like a PrintJet something. I can't remember if it's like specifically Canon or like a HP one, but it's the same issue about like this very specific ink. and having these chips in them. Like, it's somewhat useful to know, like, okay, is this empty or not? We can use it, but blocking out other ones feels like just a waste, you know? It's not needed.
You don't need that kind of chip to know if an ink cartridge is empty. And the thing
enough for the machine to know, so it knows, oh, can I print with this? Or am I going to try to print something else?
You can have other sensors.
That is true.
You can have, like, a clear plastic part or something, and then it shines like a laser through the fucking ink, and then it can see is it blocked or not. But I'm assuming that works. Something like that. It doesn't have to be inside of the ink cartridge.
That could work, but it would require the like either the color and just plain black ink to be separate, so you can have a center on the other side of each cartridge, or
there is other ways to do this. Definitely,
there are definitely far better ways for the consumer.
So
again, I just appreciate the irony here.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring into this. I have the printer that I just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it in the beginning when I had it because it came with ink. And then once that ran out, I went out and bought ink. And that was the first only time that I did it because the ink was like more than half the price of the printer itself. And I was like, okay, fuck this.
What?
If I want to print something out, I'm just going to put it on a USB stick and go to like a fucking shop where I can print it out because that's cheaper and better and basically more convenient. Because what also happened, the ink would be full still, but it just wouldn't print shit out correctly. It would have the worst quality.
No.
Like as if the nozzles were like blocked or something. Crusty fucking ink or whatever. I didn't like that.
Horrible.
So, yeah, maybe getting a laser printer is better if you don't print that often because it's not a liquid in toner cartridges. But with those, again, fucking printer stuff costs so much. That's the same thing with those capsule things for coffee machines.
On top of that, it's just a huge waste to, harm to your environment. That's a bunch of like plastic for like each individual one with a film stuff that isn't easily recycled that you pierce every time, as opposed to just like a glass jar with just a little bit of like papery tinfoil on top of it that you open up every time.
Actually,
like one is really reusable and the other isn't.
Yeah. I think I just remember this like image or video of somebody opening up one of those inkjet cartridges, and instead of it just being like a container, it had like all these like twists and turns and unnecessary plastic in there to completely minimize how much ink you can fill in there.
Just
pretty shitty. Just so you can buy more of it.
I think the same thing is going on in terms of like a lot of food products as well. They keep like recognizable dimensions from one perspective, but like for instance, cereal boxes, have been getting slightly thinner at the sides, holding less content within them.
That's one thing that I'm really sensitive about. Whenever I buy anything, I will complain immediately if the packaging is too big or shit.
That's not just about big. It's like a same kind of box like a decade ago that used to hold a lot more, say, Cheerios, that's one I particularly like, was thicker when you looked at it than the side compared to the present-day ones, which, while from the front still have the same dimensions you'd recognize, are a lot thin at the side, meaning they have a lot less volume in them to store Cheerios. Like, it's just a really insidious tactic. Like, in terms of jaws, they actually raise up the base of them a little bit now as well.
Yeah.
So they can hide, just get that little bit extra out, you know? Instead of just a little dip it needs to stabilize itself, it's like really up in there now compared to, again, like a decade ago. Just to save that little bit extra. You ever get that feeling that the world's just gone very wrong somehow?
Multiple times a day, yes.
Yeah. I'm complaining like I'm a retiree, but for Christ's sake, I'm only 24. Yet these things are so self-evidently true. It's just... it's so depressing.
This is a happy podcast. Well, okay, the good note is, though, Canon now not being able to make those chips, they are basically training people to trick the fucking printers into working with fake cartridges. And turns out what you have to do is you just have to press OK.
Yeah.
And then it works anyways.
I'm baffled by this.
So I like this. People will be like, oh, well, if it shows up, fake incompatible thing detected, and I just need to press OK, why would I still buy the fucking Canon thing for, I don't know, €60 or whatever it is? Why wouldn't I just buy the, I don't know, cheap refillable thing or some other?
I think one of them has like a sensor thing in it that scans for a QR code that is very easy to trick and override. But there's another one with like the Canons. Printers are connected to Wi-Fi now. Why? So they can update their firmware. And it's like, they're probably, once this is all over, going to send out a patch to prevent you from doing that. So that way you have to buy Canon ones again.
Oh, they could patch that. No.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, well, we can make chips again. Well, let's just make the warning permanent so you can't press OK with a fake cartridge.
I hope that from all of this, people don't get complacent and various politicians just outline this unnecessary process of making things more complicated and essentially locking out a device you paid good money for because you don't have its quote-unquote specific fuel or resource it needs anymore, and that's just being price gouged by it. And alternatives are being monopolized via these chips. You can't go for them because it will only work with something that comes from the same company. It's a huge problem, and I hope politicians stamp down on it hard. And speaking of that, unless you have anything else you want to say on this, I don't think it's going to get any cheerier with point number 2.
Next topic. Here we go. The biggest deal in gaming 2.0. On the 10th of January, Take-Two Interactive, who are the owners of Rockstar and 2K, have bought Zynga for 12.7 billion US dollars. We didn't talk about this on our show last episode or any episode. But at that time, that was known as the biggest deal in gaming. And also, I'm sorry, but I can't imagine Zynga. Like, what do they make? They make like Farmville 3 or something. I went to their website earlier while doing research for this. And I was like, free mobile. It was like free mobile games and stuff.
Well,
Words with Friends 2, Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells, Game of Thrones Slot Casino. Okay, Game of Thrones is about fruit machines? Really? I guess not.
The sad thing is like those are probably very profitable. You know, they probably do making a lot of money from those.
I believe so. If Take-Two pay $13 billion US for this,
I feel like I can't justify rounding it up to 13 from like 12.7 because that's $300 million. It's not like you're saying like $13 as opposed to $12.70.
Okay, yeah, 12. I still think at $12.7 billion US, Zynga probably make enough money to warrant this.
I think so, unless it's like a Tumblr situation, you know, like didn't that get bought up
Tumblr did not get bought by billions of dollars, I think.
Well, I think definitely hundreds of millions, you know, and then it was sold for like a fraction of that price after its like adult content purge. Like it just purged all that, saw a huge drop in users. And, like, in turn, like, just was sold off again to somebody else for, like, at an 18th of its price that was bought for. Like, I don't remember the exact numbers off of the top of my head, but like, it is just a completely comedic pratfall, you know?
Okay, I've looked it up about Tumblr actually.
Mm-hmm.
So they were bought by Yahoo / Verizon for 1.1 billion. That was fine. And then the adult ban happened and all things like that. And then Verizon sold it to Automatic for $3 million.
18th was too generous.
Oh my god.
They'd kill the firstborns to get an 18th of that original price.
How do you mismanage a company that should go from $1 billion to $3 million?
Part of that is because
in 6 years.
Again, like, people in this business world and in banking are incredibly prudish when it comes to this stuff for some reason. It's a real problem overall about, like, you know, banks and, you know, card companies such as MasterCard and Visa trying to decide where you can spend your own money, because they're always very iffy about this. But like, the Tumblr situation proved, like, people just want to do that. And Tumblr, like, in specifically, was like well known for it. You know, that was a site you'd go to see, like, you know, original art, you know, made by adult creators, you know, various drawings and like. And purging all that just purged the majority of the content of the site, or what kept people coming regularly. Like, again, it's just bizarre mismanagement. It's like OnlyFans trying to like cash out and was considering banning all like adult content just so like they could work with MasterCard, because they were like threatening to push them out and not accept their payments. I think there was a problem on like Pornhub as well, and like where PayPal doesn't work for them anymore. You know, a lot of these companies are just so prudish about it, the ones that affect how money gets from A to B. And I think there definitely needs to be further regulations about that. But yeah, it's like, for these companies in particular who make the money off of it, it's like, I know it's a tough situation, but like, you have to realize there is no bag without the adult stuff, because that's how you got the bag, you know? If you cut that off, the bag vanishes. Yeah, in some cases, such as like OnlyFans and Tumblr in particular. I'm not saying that's for everywhere, but at the same time, it's still going to be a huge blow to you. Like, if Twitter just did the hard purge tomorrow, it would see a lot of drop in users, you know? It wouldn't make the company unprofitable, but at the same time, it's like, would be a massive, massive blow to them.
They get bought by fucking Yahoo and then get sold to Automatic. That's funny. Okay.
Hilarious. Anyhow, moving on.
Getting into the topic again. Yes, so that Zynga deal was, at that point, the biggest deal in gaming. But now, Microsoft will acquire Activision Blizzard for, what is that number, $95 per share? Yes, it is. For $95 per share in an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion US. When the transaction closes, Microsoft will become the world's third largest gaming company by revenue, behind Tencent and Sony. The planned acquisition includes iconic franchises from Activision, Blizzard, and King Studios like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush. Candy Crush alone probably makes as much as fucking all of Zynga. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but goddamn, Candy Crush makes a lot of money.
It probably almost certainly makes it. Like, it definitely outpaces any singular like franchise Zynga has.
I don't know real numbers, but just from out of my gut feeling, that's true, yeah. The company has studios around the world with nearly 10,000 employees. Bobby Kotick will continue to serve as CEO of Activision Blizzard. Boo. And he and his team will maintain their focus on driving efforts to further strengthen the company's culture and accelerate business growth. Whatever that means. Once the deal closes, the Activision Blizzard business will report to Phil Spencer, CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Okay. Genuinely, I don't think Kotick will be there for much longer once the acquisition is completed in 18 months.
Yeah, most likely. It's kind of going to be a similar situation as it was that he did with Blizzard. Kind of slowly just like stripping away like the people in like quote unquote the highest positions of authority, such as the CEO and various CFOs and like those like very high executive positions, and just have all that flow upstream to his company that he was in charge of. But Phil Spencer has also made like statements, I believe, about just like, you know, these companies need some free reign to make the best quality content they can, which is encouraging. And I think like a lot of people are aware of a lot of the grossness, the nastiness has been going on. Like, what's it, Activision, as well as Ubisoft and EA, but like Activision as well, that made a lot of headlines recently, and it's seen sustained protest and demands for unionization by the workforce there. So I don't know. I'm very iffy about this because like I'm very worried about the effects of monopolization will have on the gaming industry. But at the same time, it's also a very toxic environment that might provide some short-term resolution to like a lot of that nastiness, but it could also undermine the demands of the workforce to get unionized. You know, Microsoft might just step in and say like, "No, Activision was already being scummy about like letting this happen and joining forces with like union-busting firms." Microsoft could easily just like drop an anvil on them. You know what I mean?
Well, we've had interviews with, people have had interviews with Phil Spencer before, and he's like, I think he's a way better person than Bobby Kotick is.
I don't doubt that, but
at least Phil Spencer didn't like all the things that happened at Activision and are still happening. I think that's what they are going to do. They're going to get rid of people who they think are evil and bad and contribute to the abuse and enable that. I don't think Microsoft nowadays still want to screw around with companies that they acquire like what they used to do with companies like Rareware, for example, where they just bought it, changed everything, and then kind of fucked it up for many years until they kind of got themselves together again.
I do hope that's the case. But at the same time, it's like unionized workforce typically means you have to pay them more and provide more, coverage for the stuff. And like a CEO that's just like less of a profit, that's less that you can return to whatever shareholders you have. You know, it's like, I don't think Phil Spencer is like anyone close to being evil or anyone near as bad as like Bobby Kotick, but it's like, you know, it kind of goes against his own self-interests to allow what's an interest of the Microsoft at large to allow any portion of the workforce to unionize, especially if it starts in one gaming company. You know, it might spread to the others under the belt, as well as across like the the industry as a whole, which I would argue it should be just for improved quality of life.
Yes.
You know,
you don't need to have a union though to have good working conditions and money for your projects.
Yeah.
The end goal for Microsoft now has become having good games on Game Pass so you can pay them the subscription. And I think that's what they want to do. I think they're now buying up developers, giving them more money and more time to have really good games that come out the same day on Game Pass. so you get the subscription and then never cancel it ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I've been rocking it for a while, and I've played a lot of good games on that. Had a lot of fun. I think I played all of Hollow Knight via Game Pass, as well as Monster Sanctuary and a few others. And it really has enabled my random stuff on a Thursday, just hopping into all these various different games. That has been a lot of fun, but
happy people are more productive than people who are sad and hate their workplace. If you have a studio that goes on strike for 7 weeks, which is one of the studios that Activision Blizzard has, that's not good. That's not good for the company. That's not good for the people there. That's not good for literally anyone. Why not just have the management fuck off and have other evil people fuck off and give them more money so they can do what they want and create great art?
Well, it kind of comes to a problem there, because they're trying to sell art, but if a company is publicly traded, the CEO and other executives are accountable to the shareholders, and they kind of have to show profit at the end of the year, and paying people a certain amount less, and having them work in worse conditions and crunch is destructive in the long term, but they only care about the next, shareholder meeting, and they always have to make it seem as if there's a perpetual growth, to thus not spook the investors and have them sell shares, which causes a drop in price, and so on and so forth. It's just not a good system.
Though. That's what's happening, though. Except that they've changed it from profit to people who've subscribed to Game Pass, to the number of subscribers. That's growing rapidly with Game Pass, with other subscription things too.
It is,
and it's going to grow. It's going to grow way faster when you can get Call of Duty and I don't know, fucking Overwatch, the next Overwatch game or something on Game Pass.
I don't doubt that, but at a certain point, it will plateau and just kind of really slow down and kind of go up and down on various months, It's new, it's constantly adding stuff, it's seeing explosive growth. But that can't continue in perpetuity, because at a certain point, if it were to, you'd have to start having new people just spontaneously appearing on the planet to keep up with infinite growth, Everything plateaus eventually, and that's not such a bad thing. But it's it really effed in America, where it's you always have to pretend it is, and damn the long-term consequences that you do for pretending that. That's a whole thing.
At that point, you just raise prices, though. That's what Netflix have to do now, because there's no one else left to subscribe to Netflix.
Well, and people are doing the thing okay, is this out in this month? Okay, I'm going to unsubscribe for now, resubscribe when this is out, watch some stuff for the month, and then hop on another service. I don't think most people do that.
Do you know how many things I have where I'm let's try it for a month? Or let's do 1 3-month thing because this month, these next month, I want to try and play new game, and then I just forget, and it renews itself. That's my fucking experience with Nintendo Switch Online. I don't use my Switch until I don't know Mario Odyssey 2 comes out or some game like that, and I'll still fucking have Switch. I had Switch Online for a year. Even though I wanted it for 3 months, I still had it for a really long. I think most people will just forget, and then it gets charged again. I don't think many people will. I don't think many people will actively manage their subscriptions like what you just said. That's a smart thing. Smart people will do that, but I don't think most people are smart enough.
Yeah, it is something you have to do. It's understandable, one time it slips your mind, the other two, because, the months apart, but if it does turn into a trend, you just kind of realize. Honestly, if I didn't like the Tetris game so much, Tetris 99, I probably would have canceled my subscription to Nintendo Online ages ago. But I do play that fairly often, so it's all right, I want to do this, so may as well. A bit of a shame they would have more free stuff.
Going back to the topic now, though, I'm gonna be interested in, or I am very interested. I'm gonna say it that way. I'm very interested to see what will happen with all of those Activision games. Microsoft have said they are still committed to releasing games on the PlayStation, for example, that they've already committed to.
Well, I think that's
what does that mean?
Some of them are contractually obligated to be PlayStation exclusives for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Before Microsoft swooped in and bought up the companies, such as what was the one before? Miramax or something?
ZeniMax.
ZeniMax, there we are. I think Miramax is a bit more adult-oriented, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm just making up a company name. Either way, a good example of that is Deathloop. I'm currently playing that. But that's currently a PlayStation exclusive, was signed by a contract with Bethesda before it was bought up, and only lasted for like a year on release, and then it was going to probably be very slowly brought over to other platforms. But since Microsoft bought it up, they're only going to honor their contractual obligation to remain exclusive for a year. And after that, Deathloop will be coming to like Game Pass, the Xbox, and like PC via the Game Pass.
I'm gonna be so happy to see Sony fanboys be like the dumb Sony fanboys be really angry when Call of Duty is like, oh, this is Call of Duty, I don't know, Modern Warfare 37, now exclusive to Xbox, whatever they're going to call the next one. Xbox. I can't even think about a dumber name than Series X. I'm sorry.
I don't
Series
know.
X2. Fuck off. That's what I'm going to call it. Logic. I wanted to make a joke about Microsoft's names. I can't think of a worse name.
I kind of wish they stuck with the Scorpio. That's memorable. That's a nice name. Xbox Scorpio.
That was the last one, though.
No, I think it was the code name for this one, if I'm correct.
That was a code name for the One X. I think this one was called like Scarlet or some bullshit name that was like not as cool as Scorpio.
I mean, at the very least, you just use code names if you're not going to stick to a traditional numbering convention like PlayStation.
Yeah, or actually, just don't call it 1 if it's not the first.
I think that was like a naming gimmick because they were trying to make it the hub of your home.
I know,
you can
but
play DVDs on it, plug your TV into it, watch Netflix in it.
That was dumb.
One-stop shop for everything. But yeah, it's a dumb name.
And
but I will say Scarlet is infinitely better than Series X. Like, even if it's not as good as Scorpio, just use code names from now on, Microsoft, for your Xboxes if you don't want to stick to numbers. Because they're always going to be better than this. Again, it's like, I think around the time of release, a lot of people, there was a spike in people buying Xbox One X and Series 1Ss because people got confused by the bloody name. It's like so dumb.
And how would you know if you're like some random mom?
Yeah.
You look at this, you're like, oh, look, it's the Xbox One, it's the X. That's what the kid said. And then you buy it. And it's wrong. They got that one already. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. What was I
we're
thinking?
Circling away again because I hope that, I was talking about the Sony fanboys on Twitter, right? They're already going insane. If you watch Twitter, they're like, oh my god, they're gonna take away Call of Duty. You fucking Sony fanboys, all of you fuckers, for like years, you've said, oh, Microsoft doesn't have any exclusives on Xbox, so why buy it? Now they're doing it. Now they're going to do exclusives.
They've bought them, and you have to live with it because they've bought the popular things to make exclusive.
Yeah, that's literally what all of you I'm talking to you, Sony fanboys. Would you all suggest it? They need more exclusives. They're getting them now. They're buying it, and then that's it. What I personally would think would be better is if they would continue to put, I don't know, Bethesda and Activision and other games. Like, let's say, I don't know, the next Spyro game comes out for every platform, for the Switch and for the PlayStation and all that. But then in the beginning, it just says Xbox Game Studios proudly presents.
They did that with Psychonauts, I believe. Or did I tune that part out?
I don't know if they did that, but I think they should, because they're going to make way more money by also selling Sony fans fucking the next Call of Duty thing. And also, I want to see Sony fanboys get so angry and like have mental breakdowns when seeing the Xbox logo.
Pretty funny. But I think
the PlayStations.
I think that's only going to be the case for like Call of Duty, which has such widespread appeal. I genuinely do believe, if not like a timed exclusive, just it will be a permanent exclusive. Things like Genesis Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, because that's a far niche but also way more dedicated audience of people who could generally be swayed by like having it as an exclusive and then pick up like either a subscription to Game Pass on a PC or just buying the Xbox whatever as a console, just so they can like, okay, I'm gonna play this now. You know, I'm going to buy the system. I'm going to play on this. I'm a Spyro fanboy.
I don't like the concept of exclusive, though.
Yeah, it's fairly anti-competitive, you know? Like, as a permanent exclusive as well. What's it? Three things I want to go over. One tangent about Twitter. Just follow a bunch of artists and other people doing stuff you like. It really does pad out a lot of the nonsense that people always said is like, so toxic. I've been using it for like 2 years now. I have never had been swept over by like that toxicity. Never had my feed filled with people like going on screes about like the PlayStation. But that's just what's worked for me. 2, technically there is like the FCC that could potentially block this trade altogether. It's been woefully ineffective over the last decade or so from blocking these big mergers.
Yeah.
But potentially, a lot of these bigger ones did take place over the last 4 years under administration that was far more promiscuous about these things. So maybe it will be a tougher time, or maybe it will just delay the acquisition for so-and-so years. I don't know. What was the third one? Oh, but yes, Sony actually did suffer a drop in stock share prices by about 20 billion after this news was released. So, really? I don't know how that's
How much money do they have? 20 billion?
Well, it's in stock. That's different. The value of the company went down as opposed to like their personal
How much
money.
is the market cap, though? How much was it and what is it now? Actually,
I don't know off the top of my head. It's like the headline, you know? Sony down by 20 billion. I just figured it deserved mentioning to cap this off. But yeah, like I think that's going to affect the rankings of like third largest company. Like, I don't know, maybe just by sheer act of doing this alone, Microsoft has taken the lead on Sony.
That's funny.
Like, oh yeah, we're going to spend 70 billion, 69.7 billion. And it's like, oh, and now that's spending that money, spending nearly 7 billion has like made you worth 20 billion less and made us worth so much more and has escalated us to a space above you. That would be hilarious if that's the case.
These are such big numbers. I can't even really understand this. And also the fact that Microsoft can just go ahead and buy Activision Blizzard, which Activision is like one of the biggest gaming companies.
It is.
And
it certainly is.
Microsoft can just buy this for like 3% of their whole market cap.
Good lord.
They haven't spent money on this. This is like a 4% dilution on on all the money that Microsoft is worth.
I will also say it's like
damn.
probably
How big is Microsoft?
it is probably cheaper because all of these scandals has like deflated the stock value of Activision. So
yeah, I think they saw that and then they swooped in and made a deal.
I don't know. It honestly, if it wasn't as big a deal and they did make a rebound, I honestly can't tell if we wouldn't have heard this news, or if the number just would have been like 75.6 billion or so on and so forth, you know, buying it at a higher price because the key criticism is like a lack of like exclusives on the system, you know. What's the reason to buy your service over, say, PlayStation or the Switch, you know?
Yes.
Again, like the Switch is like,
I think they would have done it anyways. Yes, I think they would have done it anyways, but I think they strategically planned this now.
They just waited and like, okay, this is at a low. Let's swoop in.
Yeah.
It depends on like how much Activision stock was worth like before all this news happened. But yeah, it is amazing.
Hello, it is me, Silas, interrupting you again. Sorry. This time, though, I am just asking you to, well, if you enjoy this podcast, please tell all of your friends who you think might also like listening to us talk about random tech and gaming things. Because the number one way how people find out about podcasts, about new podcasts, is just through word of mouth. That's literally true. So you'd do us a great favor, and maybe you'd do your friends a favor too, showing them how good and awesome our podcast is. Thank you.
Twitter getting NFT pictures. Today, just 4 months after announcing it was exploring the idea, Twitter began letting some people use non-fungible tokens as their profile pictures. Subscribers to $2.99 a month Twitter Blue service can now connect to a crypto wallet and display any NFT they own in their profile. The users are easily distinguished from those yet to be crypto-piled by the shape of the avatar, a hexagon, rather than the traditional circle. I guess make money where you can, Twitter. Like
crypto-pilled. Well, Twitter don't make any money from this, I think. They just enable you to show an NFT that's already in your wallet.
No, you have to pay like $2.99 a month to have the service.
But like $2.99, that's Twitter Blue. It has like other things that aren't completely unnecessary in it.
I'm just saying, like, if 100,000 people pay like that a month, that's a lot of money.
What other things does Twitter Blue even have? I don't even remember. Let's look that up. Twitter Blue.
I honestly don't know. To be honest, I've only heard about Twitter Blue's existence because of this nonsense.
No, so I've heard about it before, but it was so worthless that I just forgot.
I think one of it is just like, the retweets, you know?
Introducing Twitter Blue. Bookmark folders. Want an easy way to better organize your saved content? Bookmarked folders let you organize tweets that you've saved. That's okay, I can see how that would be useful. And then the next feature is undo tweet. Typo, forgot to tag someone, preview and revise your tweet before it goes live. That's just the delete button. Fuck off.
Little example. Today, I overslept for my stream. I had a scheduled post for like promoting the stream that went out, and I just copied and pasted the text and deleted the original tweet and sent it out again. It serves no function. You need the
undo. No, buy this for $3 a month. You need the undo button. Also, it has a reader mode, which, it just makes it easier to read long threads by turning them into easy to read text. That's pretty good. I can see how that would be good. I'm not going to pay €3.
Yeah, here's one of the worst things about this, though. Like, YouTube Premium, I don't know. I think it is. I'm using this example. It's a bit pricey, but I do find the lack of ads, very relaxing for the most part. I think I said previously, I would like some curated ones on occasional channels to help promote them and also see stuff I'm interested in. I'm just not anymore, and it's like, I would like to see some cool Kickstarter stuff or some cool gaming trailers, but regardless, a feature locked behind that is just playing YouTube when you're out of the app. You go out of the app, and it keeps playing now. That's like such an enhancement to YouTube as a whole. It baffles me why they paywall it. You know, it's like such an improvement. It hurts you in the long run not to make this a default feature for everybody.
I mean, it was
to improve
before.
the quality of the.
It
just hurts the quality of like the app as a whole, and also in terms of like ads. It's like you can just like make it radio when they're not in the app, and an ad comes up. Just play a radio style ad. Like it makes such basic sense to have this and have it integrated. I don't get why they paywall it, because it fundamentally makes YouTube such a better experience about being able to go in and check your text, check your emails, reply to someone on some kind of messaging service, and have the video keep playing. Like, actively trying to paywall this is hurting them as a service. I just don't get it. And it's like the bookmark feature, and that longer thread one. That would make Twitter so much better as a service for people to engage with. Like, to the point where paywalling it hurts you because it's making a service very worse.
I don't know.
But anyone not willing to paywall.
If they just get a few subscribers for this is already worth more money to them than just having more happy users.
Yeah, that is true.
So, yeah.
I feel like for the play one on YouTube, that's specifically true. Like, from my point of view, but like for others, it's debatable. At the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like, it does come to that question of like, okay, you want this improvement, we're going to paywall it. Like, we're going to make you regularly pay a subscription for us to make our service better for you. You know?
That's how businesses work. Though. I understand your complaint, but that's what they have to do. Most people would be like, oh, I don't want ads. Well, there we go. uBlock Origin. That's it.
Well,
Fine.
I don't think that works for like non-hacked mobile devices. Like YouTube Premium, I think is specifically going after the mobile market,
I had YouTube Premium for like 1.5 years. And as a contrast to Twitter Blue, I think YouTube Premium actually is worth it.
Primarily because it is a lot cheaper,
Well,
I think YouTube Red is a bit overpriced for like its downloading features and whatnot. Because again, you could just like pre-download ads along with the video. It's like, yeah.
They want you to pay for it though. And also, what did you just say? I said that I think YouTube Premium is worth more, is better, actually worth it compared to fucking Twitter Blue, because Twitter Blue gives you nothing. At least with YouTube Premium, I know myself. I will spend, like 5 hours a day minimum just on YouTube, either as a main thing or as a background thing. So for me, those like €12 were very much worth it, and I really was. That's like worth more than Netflix is to me.
Kinda, yeah. I'm in that same space because I am watching stuff at like 1.25 speed, 1.5, and the ads are just like a huge stop that, like, really just slow down the video again, trying to keep up at the pace. And ads like collectively, like for a longer video that's say like an hour and a half long, going over like politics or real in-depth like video game or movie review, like it could easily have like 20 ads in it that go about 30 seconds a piece that you have to then turn back to the screen and press skip for or wait to play out. And that either makes it a lot of annoying interactions that you won't have to engage with, or you have to wait a long amount of time that adds up to like 20 minutes or so over the course of a longer video. It's like incredibly frustrating.
That's what YouTube
It's like,
Premium is for.
yep.
Well,
Megan.
okay, we need to go back to the topic, which
I
is...
think that is the end of the topic. We were just like...
No, I want to get more into NFTs because NFTs as an idea is a great concept. What they are being used for right now, which is basically dumb idiots in some rooms being like, oh, I'm an art trader now, and then they're selling dumb bullshit for $5 million.
Speculative investing,
That's not a good use case for NFTs. NFTs can be pretty awesome in the future. They will be awesome. You will have an NFT for like, I don't know, fucking university degrees and
now that could be useful
and other things like that.
That sounds useful. I don't know about tickets. It's just like maybe if it's more environmentally friendly and the like, but
it will be in once things move around from shitty mining rigs with like 100 GPUs to nothing.
What was I thinking? I don't know, like a plane ticket specifically. It's like, it's probably just more convenient to have that printed off because, like, I don't know, what if there's a problem with your phone? What if the battery suddenly goes shitty and just dies on you and you can't charge it? Do you not board your flight? I think in those instances,
you could just tell them your name and show them your fucking ID, and then they can look at your wallet and see, oh, look, this is the actual ticket. That could work.
Maybe.
We don't know if this will exist. I think it should exist. I don't think the use case for selling dumb art or selling items in a game is that good. Selling art could be done well with NFTs, but right now it's absolutely bullshit. Same with the situation for gaming.
Yeah.
And also, this implementation of what Twitter is doing is not even good because, well, they don't really have any checks if this certain NFT is like the first one. Because with an image, you could just right-click and copy it and save as. That's the meme. That's the whole joke about NFTs. So what people are doing is they take people's profile NFTs, they copy it, mint new NFTs, so it's not the same NFT, but it just has the same image on it.
Oh, Jesus.
And then setting the same thing up again. And because Twitter doesn't know, oh, this image is the third time it's been uploaded, let's not use this. This is not the original. You could just fucking copy it, make a new NFT, and then that's it. It's not unique at that point anymore. You could just get it again.
Not to mention, if they ever do start like cracking down on that, all it'll take is going into like MS Paint and just like adding the Joker makeup to it. And it's like, here, unique art. There we go. NFT this, upload it, and it's still fundamentally defeated,
I mean, you could have. That's what Adobe are also doing. Like, literally inside of the image, there's like metadata telling you or telling the service who made this, how they made it, and if it's the first original version of this. So even if you took that NFT fucking ugly fucking monkey bullshit, whatever the fuck everybody has, monkey NFT thing, even if you take that, draw a mustache on it, then the system could know that it's not the original because that's what the signature says, the built-in signature thing.
I have to imagine it's a way to
they use that.
They
don't use this at all, even though it exists. So shit implementation.
I'm just not for speculative investing overall. It's a rather toxic practice. But yeah, that's the end of all my thoughts on that.
That's a very broad statement. If you have some if you have 2,000 quid a month and you only need 1.5, and you're fine with losing 500 if shit goes wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
why would you
not on the user end, but like as a practice, it just leads to bad things, Like, I get it, make your money. I'm not blaming you for that. I'm
Also,
just saying
yeah, NFTs
this
are not a
specific
fucking
avenue.
investment, though. You
But that's,
fuckers need to understand this.
it is
It's
art.
just a way to store data
That's the thing.
semi-uniquely. Nobody gets this. Everybody's like, oh my god, I have this fucking one-of-a-kind screenshot of fucking Jeff Bezos' first tweet or whatever. Oh my god, give me $70 million now.
Yeah, it's
My god.
beyond baffling.
Okay, now we can move on because I'm getting angrier.
Okay, shall I read off the next one?
Yes, I'm too angry now.
Fourth topic: ripping free stuff off. Ripping free stuff off makes people angry. Daily word guessing game Wordle has taken the internet by storm. Despite its huge newfound success, creator Josh Wardle, yeah, that's funny, said he wants to keep the hit browser game demonetized and ad-free, but one app developer has other plans, and now he's quickly becoming Twitter's main character of the day. I love Wordle so much, I decided to make my own Wordle app, but with a twist. Tech entrepreneur Zach Shakad wrote on Twitter yesterday. There's not just 5 other words, but also 4 and 6 and 7 other words too. You can play unlimited times if you're on Pro version. The new version of Wordle on the App Store didn't just have bigger puzzles, but also required you to pay a subscription and unlock all the features. It was a great innovation that, in the words of Andy Bayo, compounded the plagiarism into a naked cash grab. The downloads, reviews, and active paid trials instantly started rolling in. 12K downloads, ranked 28 word game, and number 4 result on the Wordle in the App Store. Chaka tweeted earlier today, "We're going to the effing moon." While the original Wordle was created as a love of letters of sorts for Waddle's partner, Wordle, the app, appears to be born of Shakard's stated 2020 resolution to be more vulgar and make a ton of effing money. Christ.
So there's a number of things that we need to talk about here. So step 1 is, what is Wordle? Because I had not heard about this until this morning.
Funny thing, I like watching Seth Meyer, a closer look, and all that. There was actually a joke about Wordle that utterly tanked because it didn't connect with the audience. Yeah, and it was a lot more funny with the writers that actually do engage with the game. I think it's basically some kind of variant on what's the game? The Scrabble. It's along those lines of trying to come up with a word or probably guess a word based on a clue or something.
I want to explain it right now because now I know. If you go to powerlanguage.co.uk/Wordle, Wordle, you'll get this little grid with this 5x6 grid of just blocks, and then there's a software keyword at the bottom, and you can just type in random letters, and then it will show up as So if you type in a few letters, it has to be 5 letters. Every word is five letters.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a green letter, which means you have the right letter in the correct spot, and yellow means that the letter is in the word, but it's not the correct spot. And then there's also grey,
which I imagine is just a no-go.
Which means, it's not in the word at all. This is fun. I've done this a bit. It's interesting. I don't think I'm going to do this that much more often, but you just type in letters and then you guess the name, and it's like, wow, cool. It says, what is a 5-letter word? I don't know.
I think this might have, the world that is taken by storm might have been just kind of writers, people that,
I've seen
work
it on
in journalism
Twitter,
or writing. Oh, in that case.
Yeah.
Because that does seem to be, at least in my exposure.
If you look up Wordle on Twitter, you're going to find a lot of people posting about it, obviously. Then you'll find it. So now that you know about about what this is, you as the listeners mainly now also knows, if you didn't know before. If you go to that site, it has no ads on it whatsoever. You just go there, you get a word, you type it in, and you have 6 tries, and then, well, that's it. And it's fun, and you can get a new word after like an hour or something of waiting. It's pretty interesting. It's a fun little thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the sentence. Where is it? Which sentence was it? Wait. There it is. While the original Wordle was created as a love letter of sorts to Wordle's partner. Okay, what kind of partner do you need to have to be like, oh, I've programmed a website little mini game for you as a love letter. That's how much I love you.
I
That
don't
concept is quite bizarre to me.
If you have a partner who really does like doing the crossword and likes these various word puzzles, you play Scrabble with them a lot, and you yourself are a coder, I can see this. It's like just buying a Peloton for your significant other out of the blue is like can be really insulting and a bad gift. But if they're like dropping hints about it, it's like, I'd sure love a new exercise bike. Like, buy it for the right person, just don't buy it. Don't buy things you want them to use or make things you want them to use. Buy and make what they want,
Yeah.
Listen to what they want.
But then who's like, oh,
this partner wanted it, I guess.
Who's like, oh, I want my own ad-free online fucking word puzzle game?
Like I said, like someone that likes wordplay, does the crossword puzzle every day, plays a bunch of Scrabble.
Yeah. You're logical on that, but in my head, it's way funnier if Wardle's partner was like, fuck this is pretty shit. Let's never talk about this ever again.
As a comedy writer, like that's the end you would have. It's like, what the you made an app? Like that's the comedy writer approach.
Yeah, except that's not the end, because the end is after she's like really upset with how dumb this is. Months later, it's like, well, honey, remember the thing that we're not supposed to talk about? The fucking website, it's fucking viral now. I'm sorry, everybody's playing it.
That's just part of that's good comedic writing right there. And the
partner's going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, God, why? Okay.
Yes.
That's not the
also,
point
just
of this,
brief tangent about Scrabble. Yeah. There's a Battle Royale version of Scrabble now.
What, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can look that up on your own time, audience. And Silas, like we gotta stay on topic here. It's not worth the thing. I'll just drop that landmine there and let you step on it.
That's
in your own
an
time.
Interesting thought that I didn't know I wanted to look up. So the rest of the story, though, is basically this game has become popular with, I guess, a special kind of people who enjoy this very much. So, naturally, people wanted to play this on their phones while waiting for a bus or whatever people do. I don't think Americans wait for a bus, but okay.
We would if we had better infrastructure. We certainly would, but we have very poor infrastructure.
Don't say that. No tangents.
I'm American, and it's a statement, not a tangent.
So people... So people have made multiple fake Wordle apps, some with the name Wordle, other ones with different names, and there's even one where this dude right here, where's the quote? He said he's going to the moon with how many people are down. He's like literally bragging about how many people are downloading his fake app.
Yeah.
And
that's not good.
His number one excuse was actually, well, Wordle is not trademarked. Whenever your only response is, well, legally, this is everything is all right here, then you've already got a problem right there. Oh, God.
Not to mention his, like, New Year's resolution or whatever, 2022 resolution. Be more vulgar and make a ton of money. It's like...
I think that's a good resolution if you execute it well enough.
I don't know, like... I think you can get the end results with, like, better statements, be more true to myself and try and improve my, like, situation. But, I don't know, something about that phrasing there. Painted by, like, the actions he took, I don't know, just smells of that, like, get rich quick guru stuff,
Yeah, if you said be more vulgar and make tons of money and then release a new Duke Nukem game or something... That would be fucking awesome.
That would be fair.
But then doing shit like this is not good. Because this is a scam. This fucking app, I think it was this one or was another one, you would have like, it would be like a $30 subscription a month. So you can have the fucking 4 and 6 and 7 letter words. Just like a scam.
I don't even get that, because it's like, who would play it that much and think like, okay, yeah, I need to keep this going, otherwise I won't be able to play Wordle on my phone. It's like, make that stuff like insidious, like $2.99 or $1.99 a month, so people forget about it and pay constantly throughout the year for years on end.
It has 12,000 downloads already, though. But actually, I think it's taken down, which is good.
Thank goodness.
But then... That reminds me of the still ongoing case of Apple against Epic.
Oh, that is ongoing. Because, as you said.
Yeah, because, goddamn, part of Apple's argument why they need to keep 30% of all revenue that goes into, like, apps on your phone, part of that argument was, they need to secure the store, make sure that no fraud happens, and verify all developers and stuff like that. How, if that's what you do with this money, good, but I don't think that's what you do, Apple, because how does fucking Wordle, which is not real, come up on the App Store if you check all those things? Did you not think to check this dude's email address and compare it with, like, the URL of the actual game?
Yeah.
That's like the minimum check what you need to do. And if it says, Wordle game official at gmail.com or whatever, instead of the actual real fucking weird.co.uk thing that the dude uses, that's the basic check. That's the most basic thing. Just see if they're using the actual email address of the actual domain to fucking submit the thing. I don't think they do anything. I think they're just lying and fucking around, and they've approved this app. It got 12,000 downloads.
Yeah. And he might have potentially made bank off of that if, like, they allowed him to keep the money. Also, just one quick point of clarification. It's not a lawsuit overtaking 30%, but exclusively being the only app launcher and installer on the platform. Yeah. That is what the lawsuit is over. Just avoid miscommunication.
That's one of the other main points, though, because people don't like that. Developers don't like getting 30% of their revenue essentially taken away.
Yeah.
Which is what they want to circumvent by using Stripe instead of Apple's fucking payment system. So we can conclude this episode with the idea that most app stores don't seem to do a great job at being an app store, including Apple, even though Apple is like, it's premium. Oh, look how good this is.
Yeah, they just feature like scam copies of various games that are still like someone's intellectual property, but just because there isn't technically, what was it? A trademark on a name for something that means you're not violating various copyright laws for game inventions,
This is all topics today were pretty dumb. The Microsoft buying Activision one wasn't that dumb. It could turn out pretty dumb if they handle it wrong.
Well, not so much dumb, but just bad in terms of like the industry, like that might be very bad. For like in terms of like actions to take, it is actually fairly smart from Microsoft as a company, capitalist company. It
smart,
makes sense. Yeah, but like
shit for monopolies.
For everyone else, it could be at best just dumb, and at worst really, really bad in and out of the industry.
Either way, it's exciting what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're going to get more Canon fucking ink on eBay on fucking Alibaba, more fucking cheap ink being advertised as, it's just the same thing as fucking Canon.
What's that statement about the burden of living? The burden of living in interesting times.
Well, everybody we've gone over,
as is typical,
and that's fine. Normally that would be fine, but it's really late right now because I was like, well, I think there's still a good idea to record this today.
Yeah.
So if this was a weird episode, then that's the reason why.
My sincerest apologies. I'm an insomniac, and sometimes that results in like me massively oversleeping and setting everything else behind. And I just want to give my sincerest apologies to you, Silas, for all of this. Thank you very much for still being up to record this evening.
It was
sorry about all this. Yeah, I had a great time. Anyhow, end of the episode. Let's get our closing plugs in. You wish to go first?
You gotta go to @UploadingPod on Twitter and Instagram, also @WatchSilasTV, and write messages into the fax machine on uploadingpod@gmail.com. Also Linktree and all that stuff in the podcast description. Now, Sod, you do it.
Again, there's also a Linktree for all of my stuff. I'm on various places. Primarily right now, all I can really do is stream via my channel and Twitch page, Sod Passion Gaming, where I stream as a furry VTuber, playing all sorts of variety of games, doing full playthroughs of them, and have a random day every Thursday. Stream, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Games that are in the permanent slots right now are Deathloop and The Medium, alternating. On Saturday, I'm playing Black Book, and on Sundays, I'm playing Dark Souls. There's all sorts of places you can find and follow me, and Twitter would be the other active one I am. Do give me a follow there and on Twitch, and subscribe to the gaming channel and my other channel for when eventually I start uploading content there, when I get a better computer that allows me to actually edit videos in a reasonable time instead of taking 8 hours. I could just leave this on overnight and there's just a hiccup and then all that time's wasted. But yeah, follow me at all my various places. It would be dearly appreciated. And thank you very much for listening. Very kind of you.
Also, I forgot. I said it in the beginning, but you have to mention it again. You gotta leave the ratings, people.
The ratings. Reviews.
Yeah.
That, again, even if it's just like the 5 stars or whatever it is for the various
Apple
platforms.
Podcasts, 5 stars, yeah.
It helps. It just helps. And I know it's so forgettable. I do it myself sometimes on bigger channels, but for like smaller ones, it really just helps give them a boost. It's a shame, like watch time alone or listening time alone isn't enough to promote said thing, but oh well.
Well, in podcasts, most of the time, listening time isn't even tracked yet, so...
What?
Podcast I'm going to show this to you later. This is brilliant. Podcast statistics are shit.
This is a tangent, and we're in the wrap-up. We can talk about this on our own time.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. I will hope to see the inside of your ears again next week. I wanted to say see you again next week, but that's not what this is. This is not a video, right? It's just audio in your ears.
We hope you listen to us again, and thank you very much for doing it, even just the once. May you have a wonderful day. Ta-ta, auf Wiedersehen, until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. and then it will show up as, why has my mouse just stopped working? It's just jiggling around now. Time to switch to the other mouse. Okay.